Last week, I inspected my heat exchanger and I removed that mechanical fuel pump. This week on Marina Queen, I diagnose an oil leak and I get a quick tour of a friend's CNC30 Mark II. Stick around. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen out there. So, I'm in the process of trying to locate this mysterious oil leak. Been talking with the Yanmar guy. I tend to jump to the conclusion, so I was thinking rear main seal, but that's worst case scenario. And he reminded me that there was an external oil pipe, and these oil pipes are known to develop pinhole cracks and can spray oil. I got to be able to get to the bolts to take this pipe off, and to do that, I got to remove the starter. I've got to remove the starter here in order to access the other end of this oil line right here. And you can't undo it unless you take the starter off here. Yeah, so this is about to come off right here. All right, well, I'm headed to the Yanmar dealer. I want to show him the oil pipe that I took off the boat. See if he has any ideas. Maybe there's a pinhole leak in it. And if that's the case, well, that'd be good, because that means I don't have to mess with that rear main seal. Well, at this point, I've taken off the oil pipe and I've inspected it, and it looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and reinstall everything and check for leaks again. So this is how we get in here. It's pretty tight, but I'm not going to complain because I do have overhead access, and I know not everybody has that. So count my blessings there. But I think it needs to be like that. There we go. I'm gonna go this way this time. Oh, that's better. That's it. Okay. So this one is gonna go in like this. There we go. There. There it is. There it is. And we're looking at a CNC, what's the length, Eddie?
It's a 30, Mark II.
A CNC 30 Mark II, and I'm gonna let Eddie tell you all about it. Man, what a cool boat you've got.
So, yeah, it's a 30-foot Mark II. They started building them in 1987, built them for 2-ish years. They built 180 of them total. But what I like about the cockpit is that there's not a lot of clutter. You can sit with your back against the bulkheads there on the forward end of the cockpit without hitting yourself on bags or gear or whatever. Something that was unique in a late 80s boat was it has a swim step and ladder built in. So this thing flips down into the water. I can't do it because we're too close to the pier, but this pops out.
Oh.
And then it's just a walk-through. It's like the new boats with the walk-through swim platform. Yeah, really clever setup. This is actually my favorite seat here. It just looks like a place to walk, but on the deck.
And it's angled down. But
when you're heeling, when you're on a port tack heeling to starboard, you're just sitting right here looking down the line.
Oh, I can envision
with your inboard hand on the wheel.
Yeah.
It's great. About 10 years ago, we joined the charter club right over here. Started renting boats, and then they've got a charter marina out at Long Beach also. You can go straight over to Catalina from Long Beach there. So I've been sailing for about 10 years or so.
I want to learn more about this CNC 30.
So first thing you notice,
Headroom.
yeah, that was like on the must-have list for a boat, was that I wasn't going to smack my head as soon as I went down the companionway with the saloon. And then the other nice thing is you've got the aft head. It's a twin bunk back here, and it's facing fore and aft. And I like facing fore and aft when I'm taking a nap or sleeping underway. The forward bunk, I can stretch out on the port side, and if somebody's shorter than me, shorter than 6 feet, they can lay out on the starboard side.
Yeah.
So it's pretty decent room for, it's just such a clever layout.
Yes, it really is.
Yeah, and those are all the cockpit cushions in there. Yeah.
So I put it all together and I ran the engine last night. And I got a couple of drops of oil, and it was not coming from where I thought. In my mind, I was thinking rear main seal. I kept thinking towards the back, but it was actually coming from the front of the engine. I have that tendency to shoot from the hip. We all probably have it to some degree. It's almost never helpful, right? It gives you preconceived ideas that could be wrong. Like in my mind, I was thinking rear main seal. What? It wasn't even an issue with the rear of the engine at all. It has to do with the front of the engine. Now the engine is slanted aft. So all day today, I'm working to remove that timing gear case with the objective of changing the gasket. And my understanding is that Yanmar actually beefed up the spec for that gasket because apparently this was not an uncommon occurrence. I'm looking forward to the challenge. It's a big challenge for me. Wow. First thing I need to do, warm up the engine because I gotta remove the oil and I gotta drain the coolant. I know, I just put that in there, but that's the way it goes. Then I'm gonna start taking off stuff that's bolted onto that timing gear case. Yeah, this ought to be fun. I'm running the engine for a little bit to heat up the oil so I can pump the oil out of this engine. I use one of these pumps, go down the dipstick, collect it right here. This is the access. Yeah. And there's the dipstick right here. And now we have this pump. that petcock and the one right below it, right there, that one, to drain the coolant. Alright, so I did take off a bunch of stuff. The fuel lines are out, and a whole bunch of stuff on the front of the engine too. Take a look at that. I've stuffed rags in most of these holes just so that when I'm gone, animals don't try to climb into the engine. I'm really focused on this, how to get this nut off and how to get this pulley off. So yeah, more to come there. Well, thanks for watching this episode of Marina Queen. Be sure to tune in next week. The saga of the leaking timing gear case gasket continues. I'll see you next week on the boat. For real-time updates, check out @Marina Queen Sailing on Instagram.